Hi, this is Ines from JobnetAfrica. JobnetAfrica helps businesses in Africa gain profits and time by sending them the top 5% candidates in, not just on the market. And today I've invited Kim Shiel to have a little chat with me about disc profiling, because disc is something we've used and I've spoken about it a few times in my previous videos now, but I'm guessing you would like to know a little bit more about what disc really is and how it works and how you can benefit from it. So Kim is African born and bred. She's got one leg still in Africa, one in Europe by now. She has an extended recruitment background, but over the last year, she's really focused more on the technical side of recruitment, which of course is also assessments. So hi, Kim. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you are well. I have a few questions for you, if you don't mind, which we will go through. And my first question would be, what is this? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. Hi. Thanks very much for having me today. It's good to be chatting to you again.
Welcome.
DISC is basically a personal assessment tool. It's used by over 1 million people every year all over the world, Fortune 500 companies. It helps to improve teamwork, sustainable collaboration, communication, and above all, productivity. As far as it's concerned with regards to recruitment, it's all about getting the right person on the right bus, in the right seat, so that we've engineered a high-performance team, basically.
Okay, thanks for that. And how does it work?
It's a very simple process. Your applicant receives an online link, finalize or completes the assessment online. Literally takes 20 to 30 minutes of quiet, uninterrupted time. Applicant finalizes it, and boom, that's all he needs to do. The rest is up to us. We then receive his profile, which tells us his whole story, which is really important and really exciting. Gives us great insights into the individual, and we debrief this report with either the recruiter, such as yourselves, or your customer, the employee, and with the applicant himself. It's always nice for them to understand it. It's a indication of the person as a whole. It talks to their value proposition in terms of what they bring to the party, helping to sort of short circuit those nitty gritty reference checks, etc., etc. You get to understand what you're dealing with, and it's objective. It's very accurate. One of the most accurate profiling tools I've worked with in 15 to 20 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
It creates great information with regards to the individual's priorities within a working environment, what fears they have, how they are motivated, what stresses them. So the management of this particular team understands the individual on a very deep level.
Yeah, and I think what is very valuable for us as recruiters as well, the debrief. So yes, there's a test, yes, there's a report, but what does the report actually mean? And I think that is such a nice added value that you add to the assessment, really.
Absolutely, and I think that the employee or the decision maker who's making this decision just gets a much better insight as to the individual from a totally objective point of view, and gets to understand exactly what he's going to be dealing with. He's got to work with this person. He's going to have them on his team. He needs to make sure it's a successful onboarding. And he may not particularly, the applicant may not particularly be right for that particular role, but maybe he's right for another role.
And if you would have to describe maybe in 2 or 3 points, what are the benefits for the hiring manager or the employer by using this tool?
The hiring manager understands the value proposition. In other words, what this person brings to the table. He has a better insight as to what motivates the individual, what happens to this individual when they work under stress, what their real fears are, what behavioral characteristics they use to perform, to move people to action, how they influence people. It also gives them insight as to how this individual could be more effective within his working environment, because it's an experience-based profile. It's not just for this particular role. Yeah. It helps him understand what gaps in execution can be fulfilled by employing this particular set of strengths, and where this particular person is able to move the team to a different level. And I think that's really, really important as well, because they then understand exactly what this individual can do with regards to the team dynamic.
Yeah. And could you also say that a benefit would be, is because of this tool, the onboarding process or the selection process is more thorough, which will save the employer or hiring manager cost eventually, with, finding the right candidate rather than having to replace him or her in a later stage again. So it's also a cost-saving tool eventually, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The 8 workplace priorities are spoken to in great detail, and I debrief your client around that, so they know exactly where these priorities lie. And it lends itself to deeper conversations and an understanding of the individual that they're going to be working with. Huge saving, huge saving.
Yeah. Well, Kim, thanks so much for explaining a little bit more about this. If anyone is interested, obviously, feel free to contact me at Ines, INEZ, at JobnetAfrica.com, and we'll arrange a meeting either with Kim or with me, and we'll tell you even more about this. Kim, thanks so much for taking the time to explain a little bit more, and looking forward to working on this together again, obviously.
Good. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. All the best.